Welcome to Strengthen Stories, the podcast dedicated to exploring the healing journeys of women overcoming trauma. Each episode features heartfelt conversations that illuminate the power of vulnerability, resilience, and community. We'll hear transformative stories that remind us we're not alone and discover tools to foster healing and growth. Join us as we celebrate the strength within each story and the courage to rise anew. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Strengthen Stories. Our last guest was absolutely amazing, and we will have guests in the future as well. Today's episode is going to dive a little bit more into my background and my story and some things that happened over the last couple of weeks. And to get started, I grew up not in the best household. A lot of us come from places that were chaotic and just weren't loving, and that is kind of where I came from. And I left home when I was 13 years old, and I moved in with a friend, and then ended up getting shipped to Florida to someone who was supposed to be my dad, and then come back, and that's not my dad, and I don't know who my dad is, so there's a thing. But I'm okay with that. I forgive my mom. I forgive my dad, whoever he is. And then I got into a relationship at the age of 14. And that relationship turned toxic very quickly. And I became the victim of domestic violence. And with that, trigger warning, I was hit at least once a day, every day for about 2 years. They could be anywhere from just getting punched in the face to dragged down the street, choked out, whatever he decided was fit for that day. And I resented him for a very long time. I hated him for what he'd done to me, what he had done to my daughter. He tried to kill both of us multiple times. And I worked through my trauma. I worked through healing and the forgiveness of him. And fast forward to about 2 weeks ago, I was sitting and talking with a friend at lunch about my story, about the podcast. And he asked me a question, and he said, has anyone from your past ever reached out and tried to apologize for what they've done to you? I said, no, of course not. No, I've never had that opportunity to get forgiveness or give forgiveness. And I'm okay with that because I forgive them, even though I will probably never hear it from them. That was the end of that conversation. And then at 11 o'clock that evening, the same evening, my ex-boyfriend, who is the father of my oldest daughter, who was the abuser, found me on Facebook. Whom I haven't talked to since he went to prison in 2000. I'm sorry, I haven't seen since he went to prison in 2000. I haven't spoken to him since 2007. He pops up on my Facebook, and he decides that he wanted to make amends with me. He said that he has lung cancer and has only a few months to live. He said if he could go back and do things over, he would have not done what he done to me and my daughter, and that he apologizes and that he wanted to make amends before he passes. When I tell you God works in mysterious ways, he does. And I let this gentleman know that I have forgiven him. I will never forget what he has done, but I will never, ever hold it against him, because forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do. And he was a kid. I was a kid. It doesn't make what he did right. But having the forgiveness in my heart is for me. And so when I say in these episodes that forgiveness and love equals peace, I really, really mean that. Because I could be hateful. I could be like so many things, but I'm not, because no matter what anyone has ever done to me, I don't wish that upon anybody. And he wanted to talk to my daughter. And I reached out to my daughter and I said, hey, this is happening. Do you want to talk to him? She said, is this really him? And what do you think? And I said, well, I know it's him because he called me a nickname that only he called me when we were younger. And I don't know if it's true, if he really has lung cancer. I don't know if he's really dying. I said, but if he is, maybe you would want to say your goodbyes. And mind you, she's only met him one time. He went to prison when she was 3 months old. She said yes. So he reached out to her. And he said good morning. She responded and he ghosted her. And he ghosted me. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to process that. I didn't know how to help her, because what was the purpose of reaching out to her to just say good morning and then ghost her? And then I'm thinking, did he pass away? Did he just get scared? Or is he just an asshole like he used to be? I'll never know, probably. I've reached out to his brother to see if it's true. His brother hasn't responded. But I know now, it took me a couple of days to process, because I had so many mixed emotions, after not having any kind of contact with this person for years. Then to come back and say this is just like mind blowing to me. And it took me about 4 or 5 days to process. I was angry. I was sad. I was happy that he reached out to my daughter, because maybe he changed. I mean, so many thoughts and emotions were going through my head. And I've reached out to my facilitator of the Ultimate Journey, who helped me with my healing journey. And I explained to her what happened, and here's how she gave me a way to process and accept it. She said, Amanda, you spoke that day about no one ever asking for, or telling you sorry, asking for your forgiveness. You spoke that, God heard it, and he helped you close a chapter in your life and to help you continue to heal. And it's a miracle. It really is, that he heard you. And then this gentleman reaches out to you to ask for your forgiveness, even if it's not true, that maybe he doesn't have cancer, maybe he does, but you got what you asked God for in a way. And when she put it that way, my mind kind of calmed down, and I stopped thinking of all these crazy things that could be or couldn't be. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. He said his amends. He apologized. That's what I need to focus on. And I forgive him. And I told him that so that he didn't have to live with regret and shame and guilt. And maybe that was all that was supposed to happen. I don't know. Maybe I'll never know. Maybe I will. God, again, works in mysterious ways. But I wanted to let everyone know what happened because I was going to stop doing this podcast. I was like, you know what? Maybe I was scared. I locked my doors immediately. I went and told all my kids that were with me, I said, keep an eye out, lock the doors, lock the windows, because I don't know what his intentions are. I was so scared. I was like, maybe he saw the podcast. Maybe he's mad. Maybe he's, gonna come for me. I don't know. Because when he reached out on Facebook, he commented under one of my pictures, and he put, it was great to see you, or it's great to see you. Keep doing good work. God bless. And I was like, wait a minute, like you were deported. Like, what do you mean good to see me? Like, did you see me? Like, when did you see me? Where did you see me? Like, I just immediately kind of panicked. And I still am a little on alert because I don't know where he is at. I don't know if he's here or if he's in Mexico or where he is. But I will not stop doing this podcast because I will help women that are going through the same thing and help them to understand that it's okay to be a little bit scared, but it's also okay to fight back and to overcome your fear and face your fear head on. Because back then when I was 14, I didn't know of resources. I was so afraid. He had me under such a spell that I thought I had no way to get out, no way to run, nowhere to go. And I'm not that woman today. I will not run. I will not fear. I will not stop doing my podcast. I will not stop talking about what happened to me because my story matters and your story matters. And together, you can overcome things. We can overcome things. So for a split second, I was worried. I was scared. I was like, maybe I should stop this podcast. I'm not going to stop the podcast. I'm not going to stop helping women. I'm not going to stop telling my story. I won't do it. I don't have the fear anymore. He has no control over me. And for that, I'm grateful. And for that, I will continue. And I will continue to have guests. So if you want to be a guest, let me know. If you're scared, that's okay. We can even have just your voice or, do it anonymously. But speak your truth. You are safe. You can be safe. And you can get out. And you can overcome what you have in your life right now. And just know that there's resources. Know that there's help. Know that there's other people that have been through it. And by all means, we're not perfect, but we understand and we can help you. I will continue to voice that even though there are monsters in this world, there are also people with big light in them. And the light will always overcome the darkness. Even if it stops you for just a second in your tracks like it did me, you can still continue to show your light and continue to heal and continue to help others. You never know what your story could do for someone else. This man hurt me in so many different ways, physically, emotionally, verbally, every which way that you could think. But I was able to forgive him because I know the forgiveness is for me, not for them. And I know that my heart is big enough to love people and forgive them, even though they've done horrible things. That's it for this episode. I hope that this helps others that are in the situation to get out, to reach out, whatever you need. If I can help in any way, I will. I'll see you guys next time.